problem I see with so many freelancers is that they're able to get clients, they're able to be busy and work. But then I would ask them, what is your average daily earnings? And they don't know, which means that they actually don't have a grip of their numbers. So for all that you want to look at pricing and trying to charge more to a client, unless you've done this step first and figured out how long you're spending on jobs and what your average is in terms of what you make in a day based on the jobs that you're getting done and what they pay, then you'll never fix anything with pricing because you've got a broken system. So let me just really simply explain what I do. So I wanted to earn 100,000 euro in a year. So I had to work backwards and say, what does that equate to in terms of a month, a week, and then more importantly, a day? And I like to think of things in day. So I speak a lot about on the channel about tracking your time and hourly rates. But I think thinking about it in a day-to-day basis really works well for me. And I'll show you how I track that. It's so simple. It's a pen and a notepad. And with every job I get or do in a day, I will put down the name of the job, how much it pays, and then I'll move on to the next job and how much it pays and on to the next job. And in generally 5 to 6 hours in a day, that's what I'll get through and that's what I'll earn. And I track this every single day. And I've been doing it for the guts of a year. I have a notepad here full of days where I say, this is the job I'm doing, this is how much it pays, and this is how much in total I'm earning in a day, and then in a week. So with every week, I know I want to be earning around the 2,000 euro mark so that I can hit those targets of 100,000 euro in a year. This also helps me to create boundaries where it's not a scattered approach where I'm doing a bit of a job and then moving on to another one and then doing a bit of another one. I see freelancers do that as well. But I have my boundaries. I work for 5 to 6 hours in a day and no more. And I'm able to see very clearly what I earn. I can look back 2 weeks ago and see what I earn on a day-to-day basis and kind of know what my average is. And as long as that is in keeping with 100,000 euro in a year, then I know I'm doing a good job. I'm doing it right. If it drops off, I need to look at what's the problem. Sometimes it drops off because there's a drop in seasonal work. Summers can be quiet. Christmas can be quiet. Sometimes there's a dip in a market. Sometimes I'm not doing enough outreach or I'm not getting enough clicks on my Upwork profile on my website. Sometimes I'm not closing enough calls. I need to look at all these things, but I think the most important one is, what are you getting through in a day? Because otherwise you're just going to be busy and working blindly. And I see it all the time. First of all, when I suggest this to freelancers, I get resistance because there's a little bit of a fear of knowing exactly what your numbers are. That's kind of scary because sometimes it can be kind of, not what you expected. And some freelancers look at it and go, shit, like I spent 6 hours today on a job that paid $200. Well, what does that actually mean? What does that mean for my hourly rate? What does that mean for my weekly and yearly rate? You have to do this. You have to have a system where you track your time because you can't fix what you don't measure. And I think the tendency for people is to go change the pricing. Well, if I can charge more, then that will solve the problem. It absolutely won't unless you look at this first and look at your time and what your time is spent doing and put those boundaries in place as well, because there's no point in working for 12 hours in a day. You're not going to do good work and you're not going to have a life. So putting the boundaries in place, I get 6 or 7 hours in a day. And how am I using them? Let's look at evidence. And this is completely accelerated how much I earn because I can see. And then I can see, well, there's a job here that comes up very regularly that only pays 200. And every time it comes up, I'm having a low income day that doesn't match what I want to earn on a day-to-day basis. And so I will drop that client, or I will, if possible, go back and renegotiate the rate. But usually it just means dropping because renegotiating a rate is just usually you're not going to get much more out of them, maybe 10%. So it makes it so clear for you to be able to realize what each job pays and how many of them you fit in a day, and what that equates to in your earnings, and whether that is in line with what you want to earn. Track your work. I'm not talking about using apps. I don't use anything fancy. I don't pay for apps or anything to track. I don't press a timer when I start a job and stop it when I stop to take a break and make a cup of coffee. I just go through on a day-to-day basis. How much today? It'll help you get better at being focused as well. If you've not tried this as a freelancer, try it. What I do then at the end of the week is feed the information into ChatGPT in terms of what I've earned on a weekly basis, and every week I do it. And what ChatGPT does then is it gives me graphs and averages of this is what your average earning is. It's around €2,000. Happy days. I know I'm going to reach my financial target, or I know I'm there or thereabouts. And you can also look at, are you incrementally improving over time? Because that's what you want to see too. The longer you do this, the better graph you'll be able to see. Are you stagnating, or are you incrementally improving? And you're just looking for the incremental improvements on a week-to-week basis, on a day-to-day basis, on your notepad or on your ChatGPT, for me, tracking system. This is without a doubt the best way to accelerate your earning power. It gives you an honest assessment of whether you're running a freelance business or just working and being busy and blindly hoping that the right amount of money will show up. Start tracking how much you're earning on a day-to-day basis. It's a game changer for your freelance business, no matter where you're at. If you're new, do it now. If you're able to get clients and you're busy, but you're not quite there in terms of what you feel you can earn, this is going to be a game changer for you. I hope it helps. If you need any help doing it with your specific niche or freelance business, hit me up and I will chat to anybody. I'm not trying to sell anything here. This channel is just me spitballing a little bit and seeing where it goes and trying to get better at this type of content. And hopefully this is helpful. But this has been a game changer for me.